Hello everybody, my name is Ryan or MandRproductions and welcome to the 10 worst LEGO Star Wars sets. Now of course this is a video that is more so than my other top 10 videos, very opinion based. You guys may think some of these sets are actually pretty good. Well, in my opinion, these are the 10 worst LEGO Star Wars sets. Now we're going to go through the list starting with number 10. If you enjoy, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have anything that you think should have made the top 10 worst list, let me know down in the comments. I'm interested what you guys think the worst set ever made is, or if any of these sets you think are like the best set ever made, although I doubt it. These are some pretty rough looking sets. But let me know down in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear. I'll be replying to your comments. So without further ado, let's hop right into it with number 10. As the 10th worst LEGO Star Wars set ever made, in my opinion, I have chosen the 75000 Clone Troopers vs. Droidekas Battle Pack from 2013. This set cost $13 and had 124 pieces, which isn't bad, but the thing that makes this set bad to me is the Droidekas. The Droidekas are absolutely abysmal. This Battle Pack I was originally really hyped for, and when I first got it and saw the Droidekas all built, I was really disappointed. The Command Center isn't bad, it's got some nice pieces in it, but it's something you can't really do multiples of. You don't need like 20 command centers, so that's something that's kind of confusing about this battle pack for me. The one saving grace that this thing does have that allowed it to be this high on the list and didn't, make it drop into the top 5 is that it's got some great minifigs. The two Clone Troopers are absolutely amazing. You get the Clone Trooper Sergeant and the regular Clone Trooper. It really saved this battle pack. If they had just brought back old Clone Wars clones, I think this battle pack would have just been the worst, but I think it's okay, but again, there wasn't anything that I could say it's better than that didn't make the list, so this is number 10. At number 9, I chose the 75037 Battle on Saleucami. Well, the reason I really chose this one at number 9 is because the title says Battle on Saleucami, but it's more of like a small skirmish. It's more of like a Clone Trooper and a speeder versus a bunch of droids, and the scenery's kind of cool, but if you go back and look at what Saleucami really is, there's so much more to it than just a couple of dull dark green and tan plants. So I think they could have done better here. I think they could have made this like a $50 set, kind of like the Battle on Scarif, and made a much cooler LEGO set with better minifigs and better ships in there. It is still kind of cool for $15 and 183 pieces, and of course the one minifig that actually makes the set okay is the Bark Trooper. That's the only set he ever came in, I think, so that's one saving grace, but other than that, the entire thing is just kind of shot. It kind of sucks. You just get a couple of battle droids, super battle droids, and a stap. So the speeder's alright, but again, this set is not too great. It's kind of just a mishmash of random things that doesn't really appeal to me. At number 8, we have a set that a couple of years ago was absolutely my least favorite LEGO set ever. It's the 8016 Hyena Droid Bomber, and of course this set has gotten a little bit higher on the list, up to number 8 from what would have been number 1 a couple of years ago. Anyway, it came in at $20 with 232 pieces and 3 minifigs, so not bad at the time. The one thing that really gets me is that it's a big Vulture droid, and it's just kind of clumsy to me. The build never really felt that sturdy. It always kind of feels like it's going to fall apart, and it's not a great set. It did come with rocket battle droids for the first time, but to discredit LEGO there, they are just different colored regular battle droids, so it's not like you even get a new mold or anything. So it was kind of a lame set to me. No printed parts or anything, a bunch of stickers on there, so it really just didn't appeal to me. It's one of my lesser favorite sets from the Clone Wars, so that's going to be number 8. At number 7, we have the 7144 Slave One. This is the original Slave One, released way back in the year 2000, so it's an old model, and that's why it's bad, honestly. You see the newer Slave Ones, they're absolutely amazing. The UCS Slave One is drop dead gorgeous, but for $20, 166 pieces, and you get the Boba Fett minifigure and the Han Solo and Carbonite. That's all this set is. The Slave One itself is just absolutely ugly, if you look at it. I mean, it is okay. I mean, you can get some cool angles and make it look alright, but other than that, it's just absolutely terrible. Like, it's a bad LEGO set, let's be honest, guys. I know it's old, and you can give them that, but it is still a bad LEGO set. You can compare the size of it to the newer Slave Ones, you can just see how small it is. I mean, it's just a real shame that this was ever even a set, because if they had waited just 5 years and, made the original 2006 Slave One, 2006 Slave One the only Slave One ever, I think the Slave Ones would be the best LEGO sets ever, but this Slave One kind of brings that whole thing down, so At number 6, we have another older set. It's the 1999 Gungan Sub. This is an old model, obviously, from the original Star Wars line. It had 379 pieces for $50, so a very high price per piece back then. 3 minifigs being Jar Jar, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it's a pretty cool set. I mean, obviously, the newer one is a lot better. You can see the comparison here on the screen, how much better the newer one is compared to the older one. And that's what really made me put this set on the list as one of the worst sets. Is just because of how much better and more improved the newer one is. Now, to give this one credit, it's still got some cool printed pieces on there with the windshields and the back of the engine area. You can see it's not a terrible set, but it's still got some flaws. I mean, the shape of it is just kind of bad. It doesn't have great angles because they had to use the older slopes, and it just is a rough design in general. So that's why this set ended up here on the list. At number 5, we have the 8009 Technic R2-D2 from 2002. It had 240 pieces for $20, so a pretty good price per piece. But unfortunately, this model is absolutely terrible looking, and honestly, it should be higher on the list. It should be like number 2 or 3, but I just have an irrational hatred for a couple of the sets upcoming, so that's why this set actually got to number 5 instead of even lower on the list. So it does look absolutely terrible. Like, it's an R2-D2, but it's a really rough-looking R2-D2. You can see right through it, obviously. I think this whole Technic line is bad, but I didn't put a lot of those sets in here because I felt like I would just be harping on the Technic line the whole time. So this R2-D2, I think, is the worst of them. It just doesn't look good to me. It's just not a great LEGO set, and I wish they hadn't made it. Like, the UCS R2-D2 is absolutely awesome, but this really just looks bad. It just doesn't have any features to it that are redeeming, and it just looks bad in general. I mean, there's not much more I can say about it. So if you guys have this set, maybe your opinion's different. I don't own this set. I've never seen it in real life, but all these pictures I see of it are just bad. At number 4, we have a set that now I don't really hate anymore, but I used to hate a lot, so it's still pretty high on the list. It's the 7753 Pirate Tank. It had some good minifigures. It had Obi-Wan Kenobi, Turk Falso, and Honda Onaka. I can't remember how to say his name anymore. A couple of the Clone Wars pirates, obviously, because it's Hondo. That's right. Duh. Anyway, it's the 2009 Pirate Tank, 372 pieces for $40. I mean, the design of it, I didn't love at the time, but it's kind of grown on me, honestly. It just has a lot of stickers on there. I couldn't get behind this set, and I never have been able to. I just don't understand it. I don't like it that much. It doesn't really fit in with any Star Wars collections. I think they could have, made a different LEGO set instead to fit in this slot. This such as another MIDI scale set that LEGO only ever made 2 of, so like a MIDI scale AT-AT would have been absolutely dope instead of this set. So that's my opinion there. I just feel like this set was a filler, and I'm not a big fan of it. Next, at number 3, we have the 75088 Senate Commando Troopers Battle Pack, 106 pieces for $13, released back in 2015. And, up until 2015, Senate Troopers were awesome. Senate Troopers were really cool. You could really only get them in the Venator and the Cad Bane Speeder up until then, that were both of those being released in 2009. So, Senate Commando Troopers and Commando Senate Troopers were pretty rare up until this, and this just absolutely ruined that. It was a real shame that this Battle Pack ever happened. The turret itself, I think, is pretty bad with the stud shooters on there, the stud missile shooters, whatever. Although it is kind of cool to have that dark red maroon coloring, but this set absolutely ruined how cool Senate Troopers were for me, and I think that's why this set is so high. I just don't like it because of that. It just ruined how cool Senate Troopers were. I mean, I remember in 2009 when they first came out the Venator, I was just absolutely ecstatic about it. They were the coolest troopers you could get. They were blue, and then they went and made a battle pack 6 years later and just kind of ruined that. So that's my opinion there. At number 2, we have the 75182 Republic Fighter Tank. Now, this is a set that just got released, 2016, right? Well, unfortunately, this set was a huge step backwards. It came with Aayla Secura and in the first ever Phase 2 Clone Gunner, which is pretty awesome, and then it just has a couple battle droids, so that kind of was a shame. I wish they included maybe a super battle droid instead, maybe with a rocket arm, just would have been cooler. But the real step backwards here is the Republic Fighter Tank itself. When you compare it to the newer Republic Fighter Tank, this thing is an absolute shameful mess. It's just so small. It fits in the palm of your hand, honestly. It's just so small compared to the older one, less detailed, less features, and I just feel like overall it's just a bad model. I wish they had gone bigger and more expensive with it. I remember being excited for it at first, But once opening it and building it and everything, I just really realized that it's not a great set. Now, of course, at the $25 range, it's not terrible, but I think it's terrible just because I think the original Republic fighter tank is that much better, and it's going to be a similar story when we get to number 1. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what the number 1 worst LEGO Star Wars set ever made is. Here it is. The worst LEGO Star Wars set ever made, the 75058 MTT back in 2014. Again, a more recent set, topping out the list. Now, the reason I think this thing is absolutely garbage is because of just, it's a real shame. The 2007 MTT is just so much better in every single way. It only costs $10 more. The 2014 model costs $90 for 958 pieces, which isn't terrible. But the 2007 model costs $100 for like 1,326 pieces, if my memory serves me correct, and it was just so much better. It had like 20 minifigs. The newer model has 12 minifigs. It doesn't fit as many droids in its little compartment where they can open up and fold out. It has a spring-loaded shooter that pops out of the side for no reason. It comes with a stap that doesn't have like a very high stand. I don't know. Just in general, I felt that this set was really lacking. It would have gone better as like a combo set with the flash speeder, maybe. I think that would have worked. I just have no idea what to say about this. I just think this is so bad compared to the 2007 version that I just never want to see it. Like, it's so bad compared to the 2007 version. LEGO did such a good job, and they really, really threw that down the gutter on this model. I just don't understand what they were thinking with this MTT, why it didn't get in the $120 price point and then, be a better set, be bigger and better looking, They could have done the blue Clone Wars MTT instead. That would have been cool. But seeing this brown MTT this small is just a real shame. So that is my top 10 worst LEGO Star Wars list. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you subscribe. Drop a like down below if you haven't already. Comment your least favorite / worst LEGO Star Wars set ever made. Let me know down in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.